What's up everyone, and welcome for a rather unique video and a different one from what we've been doing, but hey, this is a chance for discussion, analysis, and just really hype levels getting out there, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, hey everyone, this is gonna be our theory video for what lies in the wake of Future Connected for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. So, yeah, this is just gonna be a video us talking about what we think the premise of the video is gonna, or the game's gonna be, or what story is gonna be like, you know, the plot twists and side quests and yada yada yada, and everything it entails. So let's not waste your time. Let's get into our theory video, I guess, because since all the internet is doing it nowadays.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Future Connected. That's a mouthful.
It is.
And now it's this video.
XCDEFC.
No, that was a poor joke. Anyway, let's get to it. So who wants to start off? Do you want to start off, Alice? Or would you want me to get the ball rolling?
I don't mind starting off.
Okay, take the floor, sweetheart.
Well, I'm just thinking about the trailer we saw that had like Tyrea and whatnot, and the boy that she was hugging. I saw a comment suggesting that was probably Teelin.
Yeah.
The guy who wanted to explore the High Intia history.
Mm-hmm.
And I also saw a comment mentioning that, you know, those weird legs that we saw walking past.
Yeah.
It was suggested that looks like Callian's attire.
That is.
And it kind of made me think, like, that strange interdimensional portal that appears, it's bringing the dead back to life and turning them to, like, monsters. That's what I think.
So you think that's gonna be the premise of the story? So what do you feel like the overall arc of the story is gonna be? I mean, because the story's got to have a premise and the story's got to have an end. So what do you think the overall concept of the game is going to be?
Well, I think because there's a heart-to-heart in the High Intia tomb with Millie talking about wanting to find her family and her ancestors, and I kind of think the game might capitalize on that heart-to-heart a little bit. Mm-hmm. And she might, I don't know, reminisce and say, I kind of miss Alchemoth, and Shulk wants to help her like he promised in heart-to-heart. Mm-hmm. And Junks will take them over to the ruins of the Bionis, and they'll explore and find Alchemoth there in ruins.
Right. That, you know what, those are great ideas. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
I mean, there's not a whole lot you could develop from just the little trailers we saw, but with Tyrea being there, and possibly Teelin and old faces, it just makes me wonder how they're all going to come together.
That you bring up a good point. The fact they're bringing back things from the original and putting it in this expansion, I think is a great idea, because it capitalizes on a lot of things that you could build upon. And you know what? That's what a lot of great games miss out on, because you always get that particular game with that particular side quest thinking, I want a game about these characters, you know, because they're so interesting as NPCs. This game is pretty much that in physical form.
Yeah, and with how it's titled The Future Connected, I even had the silly theory that Junks gains the ability to time travel.
Honestly, since we haven't seen a lot, it could be that. Mm-hmm. Now, is there anything you want to add, or do you want to hear my take?
Hear your take.
Okay, well, I honestly feel like the entire plot, if we're going by the first trailer that we saw about how we first saw, you know, Future Connected officially being announced, it starts out with Shulk taking Melia to Alchemoth, thinking, you know, I figured you'd like to go. Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be a case of Melia wanting to go to Alchemoth and wanting to restore it. Mm-hmm. That to me, I feel like is the brief synopsis of what the plot's gonna be. Mm-hmm. And it may not come back. It may come back. It may not. There's a lot to dive into with what we've seen so far. Mm-hmm. Now, to a point, yes, I'm really glad that Tyrea is back, especially since the original teased it at the very end of Tyrea's side quest with them saying, "Oh, we'll see her again." and you never do. I just feel like there was a missed opportunity in the grand scheme of things, but hey, this can make up for it in spades. And to your point, if that kid is Teal'c and he's like, I want to bring everyone back, it's like, you know what, that's fantastic. I feel that's awesome. However, if this is the case, and the portal that you mentioned, like, it's bringing the dead back to life, they need to be careful of how they use that. Because basically, what made a lot of the deaths so impactful? Simply because once a death happens, you can't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know this is a franchise, and you know, like Fiora, you know, and spoiler alert, I know there's a counter argument for that, but something like something like Mumka, something like Callian, those deaths meant something because it was a sacrifice. If you take that sacrifice out, I mean, hypothetically speaking, if Callian does come back, sort of takes the weight out of, you know, the cutscene of like Man and Ricky during the end. So I'm kind of hoping it doesn't bring the people back to life, because I feel like that you're just taking the weight out of a lot of emotional scenes. Because, I guess you could say, hey, guess what? Gado didn't die. He's back here. Oh no, Egil didn't die. You know, that mighty sacrifice along with Maconis. No, he's fine. Mayneth, she's fine. You could just undo a lot of the gravitas that the original had. So I'm hoping that's something that Monolith doesn't do. You know, like Deus Ex Machina, like everyone's back and everything's fine. It wraps up in too nice of a bow. Now, my theory is, and this one actually has some weight to it. The figure that we saw that sort of looked like a Callian's attire. Here's my theory. Future connected, from what we've seen, it could be a ground in which all of the things that they didn't use in the original, they bring back. I mean, the shoulder, that was an unused area in the original. I think that figure that we saw, that's the unused high-end soldier that was meant to be the 8th character.
I thought it was a Holmes named Lambert.
It could be a Holmes, it could be Hyentia, I don't know. But if they're bringing back old assets, why can't it be that kind of thing? It really is hard to say. But I'm just hoping that they bring up a lot of unused assets that they couldn't fit in there, because it means everything that they couldn't fit in is here, so it makes it feel more complete. Oh no. Now, what Future Connected means in terms of its title and what it means as a whole, I can imagine it's got to have something to do with the other games. Because what did the expansion pass in Xenoblade Chronicles do? 2 do? It brought Shulk and Fiora in. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, because I've seen theories that Future Connected will connect the other Xenoblades in some way as well.
Yeah, I've also seen that people think, oh, it's a plot coverage from like how Shulk and Fiora got to 2 in the first place. No. I don't think Monolith would go to all of this effort just to cover up an expansion bonus.
And of course, I've also seen the theories that like that portal is the same thing that was used in Xenogears and Xenosaga.
Yeah, I don't think so. It'll be a nice Easter egg gig for sure, but I don't feel like that is what is needed.
That's kind of what led me to that theory about the dead being brought back to life.
I mean, we don't know. We can come up with all the theories because this is the theory video and we don't know anything for sure. As anything's possible at this point. So, I think that goes on with the plot synopsis and everything else. So, again, I guess let's go on to gameplay, shall we? Right? And I think I'll start off with that one. Based on the brief footage we've seen, this is as close to Torna as I think we are gonna get. Oh, and before I say anything else, one brief note about the story. It is going to, I think, address Shulk and Nelia's, I guess, unspoken conflict. Let's put it like that. Because it's just them. on their own, minus the Nopon, I have to imagine there's gonna be it's gonna get brought up, and that's probably gonna be an issue in the plot.
Mm-hmm.
But again, anyway, combat time. Again, it's gonna be Torna-esque. It's gonna be combo based when I switch with teams. Because we have also been told that there is in fact going to be a new combat system, and melee is probably going to have a more physical role, judging how her weapon looks.
Mm-hmm.
And plus we've seen the Nopons that are in the game. They have weapons too, so they are part of fighting. It's going to be hard to assume if the Nopon are going to be something like individual characters, or are they going to act as a tandem, similar to like how ice climbers are in Smash Brothers. Well, there's one part healing, and there's one part offensive, and there's one part defense, and etc. etc.
Mm-hmm.
It just all depends on how they go about it. Apart from that, nothing else that we've seen. Shulk still has the Monado in some way, shape, or form. So
Yeah.
So whereas that's whether the Monado arts are going to be incorporated in that, it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, let's just get to the elephant in the room. There's Nopon Gambits. Scattered across the area, we've seen there's like Nopon armies that we can hire or partake in.
Mm-hmm.
And when combat gets serious, we can have a quick time event, and we can have Nopon armies like do a Fire Emblem type Gambit.
Yeah, because like I saw how cute and funny it was, and almost made me worry like how serious is the plot gonna be. Because one of the things I loved about the original Over 2 is it had a more serious and dark plot.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we're gonna get that here with that. I generally feel like we are going to get a more light-hearted tone, but not to 2's extent, because it's based on Melee and Shulk.
Yeah. And
those two characters I don't feel like are light-hearted. Shulk's too much of a pessimist as a character, despite his deadpan stares we have seen in pre-release shots. And it's Melee. I can't imagine her being like, ooh, comedy and fun stuff and all that jazz.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I don't think tone-wise we gotta worry.
I guess the Nopon will be comedic relief then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind that.
You're saying that as if Nopon have not been in that way in its entire series.
That's true.
Yeah.
Some are better than others, though.
Looking at you, Tatsu. Or rather Noppa, because I hate the side view. But that's not my personal preference, though. So now let's talk about the world, unless you want to add anything to the combat before we move on.
Not really, because we didn't see much apart from the Nopon Gambits.
Yep. Alright, so yeah, let's talk about the Overworld. It's pretty big from what everyone we've seen. I'm getting Breath of the Wild or Primordia-esque vibes.
Yeah.
It's expansive. It doesn't look like there's any loading zones from what we've seen. It's pretty large, pretty expansive. There have been caves seen in screenshots, so perhaps there's a loading zone between them, or it could be just seamless. And if they're seamless, God, I can't wait to see that.
Going back to Alchemoth again, now would be so somber.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
seeing the state it's in, it's all dilapidated.
Oh man, I'm at that music. I'm gonna love it.
Yeah.
There have been signs of like NPCs and camps being in there, hence why Tyree and Teal'c and the not end up on there. So civilizations are still a thing. So we're probably gonna get the similar like side quests and affinity chains and all that jazz. It just all depends. Are they gonna have a similar like town NPC affinity system akin to the original, or are they gonna have something that's like a Torna?
Yeah, it just brings up a point. It's like, Tyrea, is she gonna become a party member? If so, I'm gonna love that. Even if it's temporary, it'd be fun to play as her.
The thing is though, how many party members are they going to allow? Because up until this point, we've seen Shulk and Melia. So that's who confirmed. The Nopon, is that like 3 characters at once? Is that 4 characters at once? And if so, how many more is that going to be? And that's not even going into like Shulk and Melia there. What about Dunban and the others? Are they there? I'm going to assume not, but I kind of would like to see them appear in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as far as the world goes, it's not going to be that much different compared to like how Breath of the Wild was. I can imagine there's going to be a grand, expansive environment with little hub towns full of NPCs and side quests, and of course killing monsters, unique monsters, and all that good stuff.
And what do you think about the length? Do you think it's going to be about the same as Torna, or do you think a little bit longer? I'm
hoping it's longer.
Yeah.
Because seeing how it's based on Mel and Shokan, the original is so heavily based on serious story, I'm going to assume that yes, it is going to be longer. Not going to hold my breath though, but that's my hope and dreams of a long Xenoblade expansion. Now for my favorite part of any Xenoblade discussion, it is going to be the music.
Yep.
As we know, Ace Plus is coming back to compose not only the remasters of the original soundtrack, but they are also putting in new ones for Future Connected as well. And from the brief snippets we've seen, I would say it's got Torna vibes.
Yeah.
It's got Torna vibes. Now, keep in mind we haven't heard every single track, or even not all of the little previews that we've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just got that wide, jazzy, expansive Torna vibe, and for someone who is a fan of jazz, I can say, and I can't wait to hear more. Also, unfortunately, it's not the biggest fan of jazz, but you can still appreciate it for what it is. Would I be correct in that assumption?
I like things like Persona 5's acid jazz, but like quick, snappy jazz is not really my cup of tea.
Oh, come on. You can't finger snap to it? Well.
I'm more of a violin orchestral person.
As am I, but a jazz fan nonetheless. Now, that's not to say that's what the entire soundtrack is going to be. It's probably going to have some rocking tunes, especially for whatever unique monsters they throw our way. So, here's our whooping for that. I'm just thinking, are they going to do anything like Engage the Enemy-esque?
Yeah.
And that also brings up a question as well. Are they going to reuse tracks from the original? I would assume not. But hey, you never know. I mean, sometimes you just can't beat perfection like Engage the Enemy.
Like a jazz version of Engage the Enemy. I wouldn't mind that, actually.
Oh, now you turn. You see?
Well, it's like Torna. There's that jazzy version of Jin's theme, which I actually quite like.
Backpedal. No, but overall, the music is not going to be that much different from Torna. For me personally, I am a big fan of that, and I cannot wait to see what they do. However, I do know that Ace Plus likes to mix things up, so here's hoping they throw in a few surprises along the way. And with that, I'm just trying to think of anything else. We need to cover. The story, environment, combat. Is there anything really you can think of? No. I think it's gonna cover it for now. Again, we could just talk about Xenoblade until the cows come home, but you probably would not want to see that.
Yeah, I kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video is because I wanted to look at this in the future after we play. It's like, we were right about that. We were way off about that.
We're going to react to it a year later.
Yeah.
This is a YouTube time capsule if I've ever seen one.
Yep.
But guys, now, as well as we wanted to get your thoughts and feelings on it. Are you excited for Future Connected? I mean, let's say it. Are you more excited for Future Connected than the entire game as a whole? Love to see your thoughts. But yeah, in a nutshell, I think I'm looking forward to Future Connected in a big way. And I'm gonna say it now before the last thing. They're gonna make a physical version of Future Connected. They're tying it in to the definitive edition just so it can make a complete package. But I can imagine they did it with Torna. they're gonna do it with this one. You're gonna get a physical cool edition of Fuse Connected, in which we'll happily buy.
And on a side note, it is nice to know that Jenna Coleman is indeed back. She sounds 10 years more mature. That's why I got confused, but she's back. And
God, you sort of forget this game, this masterpiece has been out for like, what, 10 years?
Yeah.
Everyone has grown 10 years since then. Jesus Christ. I'm old, man. I'm old. But on that depressing note, though, guys, again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions, and let them know in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to like it, and if you want to subscribe to see more Xenoblade content, discussions, analysis, and anything like that, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time for whenever we drop another Xenoblade video. Spoiler, it's not going to be much longer.
Yeah.
Again, no, guys, as always, I've been Lightning.
I'm Alice.
And Xenoblade.
What else can you say?
Yeah, just Xenoblade.
Xenoblade.